Welcome to Talk Theory. It's your host, Kiara Barnes, where I talk all things life, what makes us human, and what makes us superhuman. Sit back, relax, and join me for a chat. Hello, welcome back to another episode of Talk Theory Podcast. I hope everyone is doing well, starting off a new fresh week. I'm not gonna lie, y'all, I'm a little tired. A little bit. Been a little busy and drinking coffee, and I don't usually drink coffee. I'm more of a tea kind of gal. And no one told me about the coffee crashes. Like, it's real. The caffeine buzz is really great, but the crash is very real. But it's okay. We're going to get through it. Because I want to be here. And thank you for listening. Y'all, we are so close to April, right? Isn't that just wild, right? Is it April? I don't know. I'm so tired. All I know is that March flew by so fast. I mean, so incredibly fast. I feel like, I don't know if that's just me or anyone else felt that way, but I swear it came and it went. And we're moving, folks. We're getting through the spring. Anyhow, thank you for tuning in. I appreciate every last one of you. Thank you for your continuous DMs and comments. Guys, I love talking to y'all about these episodes. So please feel free to, DM me or suggest topics. I'm always interested in conversing with you. So I appreciate it. Okay. Today, I want to talk about being intentional with our energy, where we focus it on, who we give it to, and how we recharge it, or even, I guess, in some ways heal it. But I've been thinking about this a lot. I've had a few conversations with friends and family about just how powerful our energy is and how we can, sometimes give it away to folks that we didn't really intend to do that with, or we just didn't realize we were really giving anything away. And there's a few different segments or sections of where we can be giving our energy. So let's just kind of break these down. One would be where we give our attention and energy through entertainment. So to me, what files under that is music, TV, films, social media, and maybe some other activities, like partying, drinking, stuff like that. I think it can be super easy to forget how powerful all of these things individually can be on us. And I had to become a lot more intentional about like music that I was listening to, the shows that I was watching, and how much time I was spending on social media myself. Still kind of do, but it's okay. Work in progress. But I do want to say, I feel like music can be super tricky because someone could have a really great composed piece of music, whether it be through the chords or a beat, but the lyrics could be incredibly negative or just hold a lower vibration. And to me, I realized the more I would listen to those kinds of songs and sing along to it, and then, that would just kind of be part of my day, naturally, I would begin to memorize those lyrics. And those songs would just play in my head on repeat over and over multiple days in a row, which then would create essentially these really negative affecting affirmations. And I didn't really notice until I became aware of how I was feeling personally throughout my day after listening to specific songs. And it seems really small in the moment, but pay attention to how you feel when you listen to music. And I'm not going to lie, sometimes you need to get some anger out or have a good cry, and music can help facilitate that. But it's more so about being aware of using it for just for that, right? And not staying in that space for too long. Because I still do think it's important to acknowledge your feelings. Like, you don't want to mask these things. So if you are feeling these feelings of anger or sadness or whatever it is, you do sometimes need to just feel that through to get to a better feeling. And also that way you can basically connect yourself back to messaging that is aligned with you and your true self. And your true self is really just your most happiest and fulfilled self. This also, of course, applies to film and TV for me. Look, all I know is darker shows, scary shows. I end up feeling not so great after watching. Now, again, this is just me. You know, some folks love those kinds of films and shows, and that's totally fine. But for me, I know I just don't feel as good as I do when I watch a comedy show, right? Or a comedy film. And I don't know about y'all, but I really love a good laugh. I do. It's just nice, you know? And shout out to Hacks on HBO. It's not sponsored. Although, hit me up if you want to. But no, it's just, I love this show because it's a perfect example that mixes comedy and drama really well. And it balances it out where it's not overpowering on either ends. But, you know, I still walk away after watching the show feeling good. I just think TV, film, both is super powerful because it's visual, right? And on top of visual, it's also sensory stimulating through like sounds, you know, through coloring, through music. All of that can actually play into affecting your mood and mental state. And right now, I'm looking to feel good, you know? So that kind of meant that I had to stop watching certain shows and just trust my feelings for what they were in the moment or are. Next is social media. This is an up and down kind of relationship. I do love social media for the access it grants for like information, quick entertainment, even income. Because, you know, folks be making that income off social media. But it can easily turn into kind of a wormhole, specifically TikTok. Now, don't get me wrong, because, guys, I love TikTok. TikTok has taught me so many things, so many useful things and so many not useful things. But nonetheless, I have learned. And I've also been completely guilty of sitting on there for, gosh, way too long. Just scrolling and scrolling for hours. And, why this can be a little bit of a problem is depending on what you're seeing, right? What you're looking at when you scroll, because that can affect your mood in general. And that can really affect your mental health. Not to be, dramatic, but that's true. There's been times when I've logged on feeling really good, having a good day, and logged off feeling super anxious or not so great because I overextended my stay. I think it's that instant gratification of like, oh, that was a funny video. I wonder if I'll get another. I wonder if I'll get another. So you keep scrolling. So if we're discussing intention, I think having the intention to not stay on for too long would help. Perhaps time it or make sure to pass even certain videos like fighting videos, seeing gossip, just passing through that and watching the videos that make you feel the best. I will say, algorithms these days are so smart. They will tell you exactly what you've been giving your attention to, and they'll just show you right there. So you can customize that and be reminded of, okay, I'm watching too many of these videos that I don't really feel as good when I watch. Or vice versa. Like, my feed is great. Like, I love getting on here because I always get a boost of like good vibes and then I go on my day. Now, on to this last half of being intentional with your energy, being mindful of the company you keep. This also goes for friends and family, also within romantic relationships. And honestly, I'm just learning more and more myself that not everyone's energy lines up with mine. And that's okay. You know what I mean? You don't need to force people to like you or to get you or to connect with you. You wouldn't want that anyway, right? Like, one, that's a lot of work. But two, you're just always going to feel a little bit off because that connection never really formed organically in itself. So, how do you know when a connection feels off? It's kind of, to me, it's really just that. Your feelings are really hard to miss. I think you'll know by how you feel around certain people. So do you feel anxious? Do you feel angry, triggered, whatever, right, around this person? Or do you feel confident, safe, relaxed, happy when you're around this person or even group of people? Once you start to ask yourself those questions and then use that as a way to gauge really how you're feeling, you'll easily know what folks are for you and what folks aren't. And again, friendly reminder, it is not your job to convince people to like you. Just allow and trust that the right folks will find you. I was talking to a friend about changing the story in your head or our heads so that you can be open to new possibilities. And this is a perfect example for those trying to find a relationship. If you're always telling yourself the story of loneliness and or that you always seem to be unhappy with romantic partners, blah, 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 blah. Your subconscious is being fed this information, and then it will literally go seek out more evidence to make sure that that's proven right. Right? The subconscious doesn't have the ability to process thought. Subconscious just does what the conscious part of your brain is telling it is true or what to do. which is good news to know that, because then that means that we can rewire our brain. Because the second you rewrite that story into something more hopeful, like, oh, yeah, and it takes a second because you have to figure out how to do it and what resonates with you. That, oh, I'm changing myself. I've been working on myself. So naturally, I know I will connect and attract someone within a relationship that reflects those things, right? I don't know. You know what I mean? You have to figure something out for you that works. But when you rewrite that story into something more hopeful, you begin to reprogram your brain for more optimistic outcomes. And you'll be amazed how quickly you begin to attract those kinds of people. Real quick, okay? I will also say sometimes we as humans need to recharge and just get some rest from other energies. And that can be as simple as staying in for a Friday night to be with yourself. That could be taking a nap, which I probably should do myself after this. Essentially, anytime you can get to yourself and just regenerate with the intention of feeling rejuvenated and better and relaxed, So don't be afraid to do that as well. Sometimes it really is needed to just detach and go inward. Again, I will say this every time. Meditation is so helpful for balancing the energy as well, your energy as well. Breath work, in general, that's going to help calm your nervous system, which is just going to make you feel more recharged. All in all, we truly have the power to guide our energy, but in order for that to happen, we need to be aware of how we feel and intentional with what it is that we want. And I feel like those two things can influence a lot. So this week's theory is this: being aware of energy placement influences life outcomes. This is really, really powerful, So take the time to just be aware of what it is that you've been giving your time, energy, and attention to, and just ask yourself, is this serving me? And if it's not, keep it pushing, you know what I mean? Like, switch it up. You can change the trajectory of your life path, really. And if something is serving you in a positive way, continue to dive into that. Continue to connect to that feeling. You can, people sometimes forget, oh, well, I'm just feeling good. I'm feeling good. That's fine. You can also just really practice harboring in that feeling. I don't know if that's the right word, but just really sitting with that feeling and going deeper with that and getting to a new level of appreciation. So that's today's episode. Thanks again for listening. This was really good. I love you guys. And I will see you next week. Okay. Love you. Bye.